Zillow built an entire business on buying houses off their own estimates. They shut that down and took hundreds of millions in losses because the number was not good enough to run a business on. Zillow publicly publishes how wrong it actually is, and most people have never even looked. For a home that is not currently listed for sale, the median error is around 7%. And on a San Jose home, that is about $135,000. And the median means half of them are worse than that. There is one thing that a number cannot see about your house, and in this county, it is worth more than your actual square footage. And if your estimate dropped this year, I will tell you at the end what that actually means, because it is almost certainly not what you think. So somebody left me a comment a few weeks back on YouTube. He owns near downtown Willow, Glen, and he said his Redfin estimate had come in under what houses on his street were actually selling for. His question was whether Willow Glen prices were falling. They were not. His estimate was just wrong. And that is the part that matters, because he was about to read the whole market off of one number. People, they do this constantly. They check the estimate, feel good or feel sick, and then make a real decision on top of it. Here's what most people assume, that the estimate is roughly right, close enough to plan around. That is not true, and the companies themselves, they say it in writing. You just have to know which number you're actually looking at. So first, the accuracy number you have heard is not the one that applies to your house. Both Zillow and Redfin publish two separate error rates, one for homes that are actively listed for sale and one for homes that are not. For a home that is on the market, the median error is around 2%. That sounds great. That is the number that gets quoted. For a home that is not on the market, it is around 7%. Now, why would the same algorithm be 3 times better on a listed home? Here's the answer, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Once a house is listed, the model can see the list price. It has the agent's number sitting right there to anchor it. So the impressive accuracy figure is the model checking its work against somebody else's homework. It's not the model figuring out what the house is worth. It is the model agreeing with a professional who already did the work. And here's why that matters to you specifically. If you're sitting at home right now wondering what your house is worth, your house is not listed. So the number on your screen is the 7% version, the worst one they make, the one they publish because they have to. On a San Jose house, at the July median, 7% is about $135,000. On a condo, it is about $65,000. And median means half of them are further off than that. Not the worst case, the middle. So when somebody tells you the estimate is pretty accurate these days, they are quoting a number that describes a house that is already for sale. Yours is not. So what is it actually missing? Because there is one thing it structurally cannot know. And in Santa Clara County, it is worth more than almost anything else about your house. Okay, so the second one, it has never been inside your house. That is not a small limitation. It is a whole limitation. An automated estimate runs on public records, tax data, prior sales, and whatever facts got entered about the property. Beds, baths, square feet, lot size, year built. It does not know that you redid the kitchen 4 years ago. It does not know the bathrooms are original. It does not know the roof is new, or that the whole back of the house opens onto a flat, usable yard instead of a slope you cannot stand on. Here's why that matters more here than almost anywhere else in the country. Look at what a square foot costs in San Jose. Houses ran right around $1,190 a foot in July. Condos were about $730 a foot. So when the model is off on condition, it is not off by a little. 2 houses, same street, same floor plan, same square footage. One is done and one is original, 1965, with hardly any work done to it since then. Those are not close to the same number in this market, and the estimate cannot tell them apart because from the outside, they are the same house. Think about which direction that cuts for you. If you have put money into your house, your estimate is probably low because none of that work shows up in a public record. If you have not touched it in 20 years, your estimate may be high because the model is averaging you with your neighbors who did the work. That is the single biggest reason two people in the same block can both look at their estimates and both be wrong in opposite directions. Okay, so the third one, an estimate is a guess at value. A price is what happened when people showed up. Those are two completely different things, and around here, the gap between them is the entire ball game. San Jose houses closed a couple percent above asking in July. On average, that is not a value calculation. That is what happens when more than one person wants the same house on the same weekend and they bid against each other. No algorithm can model that. It cannot know that your street had 2 listings all spring and one of them was a teardown. It cannot know that a relocating buyer with a deadline saw your floor plan and decided that was the one. It cannot know the house across the street got 4 offers because it happened to hit the market the week rates dip. And it runs the other way too. It cannot know that the house behind yours backs to a busy road, or that the one on the corner has 100 feet less of a usable yard. So here's a practical version. When you look at an estimate, you're looking at an average of things that already happened, applied to the house the model has never seen, in a market where the final number gets decided by how many people walk through the door on a specific Saturday. That is why 2 houses with nearly identical estimates can close $200,000 apart. And it is why an estimate is a fine place to start a conversation and a terrible place to end one. And there's a version of this, by the way, that costs buyers money also, not just sellers. If you're shopping and you see a listing price well above its estimate, do you not assume the seller's being greedy? Go look at why. Sometimes the answer is that the house is done and the model does not know it. Sometimes the answer really is that it's overpriced, but the estimate does not tell you which, and the buyers walk away from good houses over that number all the time. And this brings me to the thing that I promised you at the top of the video, because a lot of you watching have seen your own estimate go down this year, and you've been reading it completely wrong. So the fourth one, if your estimate dropped this year, that is not the market telling you something. That is the model updating. Go back to the guy in Willow, Glen. His estimate came in under what houses on the street were actually closing at, and he read that as Willow Glen is falling. But look at what my MLS numbers actually said in July. San Jose houses at a median of 1,950,000, up about 1.9 million from a year ago. Fewer houses on the market than last July. Still closing over asking on average. His street was not falling. His number was late. These models recalculate on a schedule. They lag real sales, sometimes by weeks. They chase whatever closed nearby, which means one unusual sale on your block can move your estimate and tell you nothing about your house at all. A big remodel closes high and everyone nearby ticks up. A distressed or off-market family transfer closes low and everyone nearby ticks down. Neither one has anything to do with what your house would sell for. Use it as a starting point. That is genuinely what it is good for. Then get a real number before you decide anything. One more thing worth knowing. You can edit your own home facts on these sites. Square footage, bed and bath count, updates. If your records are wrong, and a lot of them they are, fixing that does not move the number. It will not make the estimate accurate. It will make it less wrong. If you actually want to know what your house is worth, I will pull it for you. Real comps off the MLS, adjusted for what your house actually is instead of what the public records actually say. There is a link in the description. Tell me the address and what you've done to it. No pressure, no listing appointment, no sales call. I'll just show you the numbers and how I got there. One more thing. Maybe you're watching this and the house you're wondering about is not even here, or you're moving here and you have a house to sell somewhere else first. Either way, I can still help. I have wonderful referral partners all over the country, people that I have actually vetted myself and have real relationships with. They are absolutely phenomenal. These are people I would actually send my own family to, and I actually have sent my own family to. So tell me where you are and where you're headed, and I'll connect you with the right person. Just a referral, no pressure. The link for that is in the description as well. So let's bring it all together. So is your estimate lying to you? It's not lying, it's just guessing. And it publishes how badly it actually is. Around 7% on a house that is not listed, which in San Jose is 6 figures. It has never been inside your house, so it cannot see the thing that decides value the most here. It cannot model who shows up on a Saturday. And when it moves, it is usually reacting to the sale down the street that has nothing to do with you. So Zillow or Redfin, their estimates is a great starting point, but it's not accurate. Do not make decisions based off of their numbers. See you guys on the next video.